ATL with another. ATL with another.
Just waiting on people to show up. Everybody on CT, CP, CP, CT, CP, CP time. Everybody late. Everybody late. Everybody late. Everybody late. They don't realize the longer they take, I'm about to leave. Because I am not going to stay here all night. Try to get y'all in and out, but yo, man. Closer and closer to 100 episodes. It's crazy. So, just want y'all to know that we are here. We are live. Just waiting on people to show up. Yeah.
ATL with another. 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 ATL with another.
Brother Ball.
Man.
You good, brother?
It's been one of them days.
That's every day.
One of them days, bro.
Oh,
man. But yeah, be good. Can't complain.
Hey,
Can't complain
man.
at all. Ain't gonna do no good anyway.
We sorry we late. If life happens, but hey, we here.
Yes, sir.
That's all we can do.
We're present and accounted for. Now,
yes.
Now.
That's why I put that down. I say everybody late.
Right?
Oh man, but it should be a light show. So I'm gonna let you finish your grub, and I'm gonna hit this intro so we can get the ball rolling.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet and make noise for Gresh Unleashed.
Let's go! When the club go around here, I'm the cactus. Bang, bang, gang, got an OU jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh Unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Hero, you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh Unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh Unleashed podcast. This is episode 97 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you, as always, is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh. And joining me for the very first time is none other, representing the Susio Boys podcast. Excuse me. He is none other than one of my good friends in recent memory. He is none other than Jermaine the Giant. What's good with you, brother?
What's up, man? Man, I should have known.
You already know, man. At this point in time, you should know that I'm like this. I like throwing people off with their introductions. So how you feeling?
Good, man. How you been?
Hey, man, I honestly can't complain. I've been off pretty much all week so far. I've been moving at 100 for the past since January. Like me and you had shared a drink.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know how fast I've been moving. So I'm like, for the first time, it's November now. So the first time since January, I've literally been moving at 100 until now. And it's like, I'm sitting here, like I go to the gym, obviously, but then when I get here, I'll be like, damn, I'm unpacking, but I'm like, damn, this is the slowest I've been in a while, to the point where it's like I have to force myself to go to sleep.
Bro, but when you, like you said, your body is used to the hustle and the bustle and everything, and then, you know, once you get that slow down period, you're like, okay, what do I do?
Because
you feel like anxiousness, you know, like you start twitching and stuff. Like, I need to be doing something.
That was me, because that was me earlier, because I hit up a lot of the companies that I work for. I was like, hey, I'm open December. So my mind, instead of thinking about this week, I'm thinking about next month and the month after that. It was like, yeah, we busy up until one of them said we busy up to the 15th. One of them said we busy into the new year. I'm like, I'll take it.
Hey, look, I mean, when you have that kind of if you got that kind of power or that kind of leverage, what have you, use it. I say use it because there's so many times where people will have that kind of power, leverage, or ability, or what have you, and don't take advantage of it. I say, hey, if you got it, go for it.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I've been refocusing according to YouTube. I've been neglecting my main YouTube channel.
Boy,
But hey, YouTube, I don't have the time to do what I used to do. Like, because when I first started, I was playing video games and retrospectives, but it's like I'm always moving. I don't really have time to do it. But you know what? I sat down and I sat back. I'm like, you know what? It's about high time I stop neglecting that channel and bring back the retrospectives and all that stuff, because it's like I don't have to necessarily do video games like I used to, because I ain't gonna lie to you, these games are kind of ass. So
dang.
I'm not about to force myself to play certain games. Like there will be a growing pain, because I know a lot of the subscribers will be like, "Where's the video games? This, that, and third." And I'm like, you know what? We'll be all right. So I'll definitely turn my attention back to that. I had to go back to my basics. But other than that, yeah, it's been pretty chill. So
Good, man. Good.
hey, man,
Use
but
the time to catch up on some stuff.
I caught up on Cobra Kai, the new season of Cobra Kai. I still got to catch Penguin. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. So that's literally been my thing this entire week too, is just to catch up on TV shows that dating back to 2023. So that's how long. It's on my list. I literally had to write it down so I won't forget.
Dang, that's crazy.
Because you would think, because I'm on the road, I would even in hotels, I would have time to watch certain stuff, and some stuff I can catch a glimpse of. But as far as like really sitting down and digest it, nah. I'm always on the go. And then on top of that, moving and setting up for Christmas, because Christmas decorations are going up, even though Thanksgiving is next week.
Hey, look here. It's like it's always something, even when it's nothing.
Because I got to put the Christmas tree up tomorrow. I was supposed to do it today, but I fell asleep, so I got to put it up tomorrow so it could be ready to go for when we get back in town from Thanksgiving, because we're gonna be going out of town for Thanksgiving and spend it with the family, and then we're gonna come back. And I'm like, all right, let's get the. So even though that's what I'm saying, this is literally gonna be my slow down period, because next week I'm gonna be right back at 100.
Hey.
Hey, man.
Friend, cheers to you.
I ain't pour nothing, so it is. But other than that, I guess since we had people waiting, I guess we can talk into some wrestling this week. Did you catch anything in all this? I always ask that question because I know some people are busy. So
I caught Raw. I caught SmackDown. I have not watched Collision as of yet.
Oh yeah, that is a show.
I'm kind of fuzzy on what happened on Dynamite.
Well, good thing. The only thing we're doing is previewing the match card for Full Gear. We're not talking about Dynamite or Collision, because I don't remember shit. So yeah, man. One thing about us is like we don't force feed people. Like if you don't watch it, you're not alone. It's like we'll reference certain things that happen for the AEW, but it's like as far as the show, the product, I haven't really been feeling it like that.
AEW?
Yeah, I haven't really been feeling it to the point where I want to talk about it. Like I'm not craving to talk about it. It's cool for what it is, but I'm not about to say, "Oh, I can't wait to talk about this with the fellas next week."
Right. It's gotten to be like I watch it because I like wrestling, and I don't hate watch because I don't hate it. I don't feel like it's a chore or anything like that. I watch it for the entertainment. Now, if I catch it when it's on, cool. If I don't, I try to go back and watch it, and just to like stay abreast and everything else. But sometimes you can catch up on stuff. Sometimes you can't. Like you said, life be life, and you get busy, and one thing leads to the next. And You miss stuff.
Yeah, because it's like I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm not about to get on this hate train of like, oh my god, everything AEW does sucks. Like, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of certain wrestlers. Like, I'm a fan that Powerhouse Hobbs is back. I'm a fan
Oh,
that
definitely.
Spurs Strickland gets to cook with the Hurt Syndicate. Hopefully he's not 100% because I know he just posted an X-ray that he's injured. So hopefully that's nothing that'll keep him out of action post
Right.
full gear. But other than that, it's like it's a hit or miss for me. Like, some episodes are like, oh, great. Or Mercedes, like her thing with what she's doing with Chris Stat, even though everybody's going from 0 to 100, like trying to run people over with cars and shit. And I'm like, how do we
Trying
get
to run
here?
people over with cars, putting people through walls. You know, we got
And
arms and slings.
tying people to the hood of the car to drive fast through gates and shit. I'm like, what
Man,
is happening?
it's like the you can't have we're the best wrestle and we're the best wrestlers and we put on the best matches, and then you do goofy stuff like that, you know, to try to advance storylines. Like, there has to be some sort of meshing point where you're not going from one extreme to the next. And
You're more so saying like a build up, like build it to that point. Give us a reason.
right,
Give the characters a motivation to get to that point, not just go from, oh hey, we're wrestling for this belt to, hey, I'm about to kill you.
right. And not only that, but like, I shouldn't see like you accelerate a feud like that, but not just that, but why am I watching like this goofy segment? The way it's put together, it looks awkward. It wasn't like, you know, shot properly with the tying to the hood thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that person should have fallen off of that car. I don't care how you tied up to that hood. Like,
Yeah.
it was just kind of awkward, but I got the gist of what they were trying to do. So I'm like I said, I'm not hating on it. It just looked kind of weird, but I got the gist of what they were trying to do, and I see how they like to try to accelerate feuds and stuff like that. But like you said, sometimes you have to let things build. You have to let things cook, because that way it'll grab hold of your audience better, and people can follow it better, because you're just trying to put a rocket ship to everything is not always necessarily going to work.
No, for sure. So it's like, hopefully, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm hopeful, because one thing we're going to sit here and give what we think they should do better. Like, we're not going to just hop on the train and just say, hey, this sucked, this sucked, this sucked. It's like, we want AEW to get better and find that their groove again, because I'm not going to lie to you, they're cold with me right now, and it's not even a holiday blues type thing where I'm checking out or I'm slowly but surely getting burnt out. I am slowly but surely getting burnt out, but that happens all the time when it get close to the holidays, because I'm just tired all the time, because I didn't even really watch NXT in full tonight, because I just fell asleep, and I woke up and it was like 9:30. I'm like, oh.
Hey, man,
So
I took my daughter to a basketball game that she wanted to go to, so I was like, all right, cool, we can go. And it ended like started later, ended later. So I was just like, damn, I'm on my way. But
you good, bro. I ain't tripping on that, but I'm just
I'll
saying,
check
I'm like,
NXT out later.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I caught the ending of it. Like, they disbanded Chase U and gave Ridge Holland the number one contendership for the NXT championship. So we're getting Ridge versus Trick for some reason. So it is what it is. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm not a fan of it, because it's like every booker has that one wrestler that is just not clicking with me, that they just love to work with. So I don't know, man. But I guess since we're talking more about AEW anyway, I guess we could talk about you see that news about what CM Punk said about his time in AEW?
No, I have not. What did he say?
Let me pull up a quote. CM Punk states that he feels he wasted matches on some people during his run in AEW. He said this via the Cheap Heat at the Complex, I think via the Complex Con. He said this, and I quote, "I feel like I wasted some matches on some people for sure, but that that is what it is. Some people understand the business, some people don't. And I think everybody here understands the business. Do you feel that CM Punk wasted some matches on some people while he was there?
I'm trying to think specifically. I would say maybe that Moxley match, that squash.
I'm finna pull up Cage match so I can remember what matches he had in AEW because it's been a while.
Maybe Eddie Kingston.
Oh, you didn't like that Eddie Kingston one?
I liked it. I'm just trying to think of who he could have thought that I wasted matches on that he wrestled.
Okay, so I'm looking at from the beginning. He wrestled Darby Allin. I like that one. He wrestled Powerhouse Hobbs. He wrestled Daniel Garcia, Matt Sydal. Now that Bobby Fish win, especially when he kicked out after the GTS at the end for no reason. Yeah, that was kind of
okay.
Eddie Kingston, that was Full Gear. The match was fine. It was 11 minutes. It wasn't now that QT Marshall match that he had on Thanksgiving in 2021. Yeah, we could have won without that. He wrestled Lee Moriarty. I was there for that one, so that one was actually fun to see in person. Punk, it was CM Punk, Darby, Sting versus the Pinnacle. Remember that faction? It was a tag match. He wrestled Wardlow, Shawn Spears, and then he entered into the the MJF feud. And then he wrestled Dax Harwood, Max Caster, Penta, Dustin Rhodes, John Silver. He wrestled Adam Page for the title that he won, and he injured himself immediately afterwards. That was that. Yeah, so I wouldn't say he wasted. I feel like 2 matches we could have went without, but as far as waste, I wouldn't say he wasted any type of matches. So, I mean, that John Moxley squash was kind of a waste because I see what they was going for, but in retrospect, it was like you could have just had the straight up title match and just called it a day because he ended up winning it back anyway.
It did. That's the one that I could point to where I would say, okay, that was a waste. Because of the way the match went, how it was clunky, and you could tell that there was more than just a normal backstage politic behind that decision. Like there was something else there or whatever. The only other wasted match I could think of, maybe that QT Marshall match like you talked about on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was pretty much it because after that, it was pretty much full cylinders after he came back from injury, the whole Real World Championship thing. Like he had it was the original scripted format of Collision when everybody was interested in Collision. You had pretty much they went after the World Trios title. Like they was doing a lot of stuff on Collision, and then the whole Jack Perry stuff happened, and then he went back to WWE after getting fired.
Yeah. I wonder also, because to me a wasted match would mean like, okay, I had this match and it didn't do anything for the person I was in the match with because I'm already CM Punk. I want this match or this feud, what have you, to elevate whoever it is that I'm working with. That's how I also would look at it. And the only reason why I brought up the Moxley match is because, yes, it was a changing of the guard of the world title. But, as you look at that match and you look back on it and everything behind it and the politics and whatnot, we could have done without that. We could have clearly done without that. That could have been handled much better.
Especially for him to lose it right back to Punk.
And that's the thing that I don't get about sometimes their booking decisions, and I just wish that, everything had more of a flow to it. I mean, they do pretty good with a bunch of different things, but there are some things where it's just.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. Definitely me. But there's just like there are some times where there's some clunkiness to it. and I really don't get it. I don't understand it, but I'm still here for the ride because I like that they have an alternative product, and I
Hmm.
like that it is different.
Yeah.
I like that
And it's
they
like we're giving constructive criticism and not just blindly hating it just to say
right,
we
right.
we hate it.
A perfect example leading into Full Gear, what they're doing right now with Osprey and Kyle Fletcher. I'm into that.
Hmm.
I'm really into that one. I'm really into that one. I'm interested to see also what they do with Private Party in this 4-way tag match. I think that personally that they should retain in order to establish them and not just give them the one-off. Hey, you won the titles, and then boom, you lose it in your one of your first defenses.
Yeah, that
But
would be a real questionable booking decision to the point where I'm gonna be like, okay, Tony, time to hand the book over because you're not making sense anymore. You're not making a lick of sense anymore. We're losing the plot. Like,
mhm,
let's just wrap this up. But speaking of plot and AEW more like last thing on them before we get into the WWE part and then the full gear predictions and then get up out of here. The AEW via Sean Ross Sapp announces well, they did a press release, but I saw Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful posted, so I posted it here. AEW announces winter live events for 2024 to 2025. Schedule includes AEW Fight for the Fallen in Asheville, North Carolina, and debuts at Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City this upcoming December for Ring of Honor Final Battle, as well as a couple of taping. So they're gonna have they're gonna have Collision on December 21st. So that likely will be live. They're gonna have Ring of Honor Final Battle on that Friday. Then they're gonna have Collision on that Saturday, and then they're gonna do a special taping of Dynamite that Sunday, likely to give the talent Christmas off.
mhm.
And then they're going to do a couple of they're doing Fight for the Fallen. I believe they said Fight for the Fallen will be AEW's debut on Max. So that piqued my interest right there. So it's like it's looking like they're pretty much confirming that they're going to be doing a lot of special events or content
Mhm.
on Max, which I feel like is a steal because Max is not expensive. I pay for the year, so I think I pay like $80 something for the year, or it's something. It's not breaking the bank because it's like that's why I like it when streaming service gives us the option to pay for the year because I was like I could pay for this for the year and not think about it until next February, as
Right.
opposed to me trying to oh my god they come out they're raising the price again. It's
Mhm.
like I would rather do that. That's why I need Netflix and all these other companies to pick up on that. Like, hey, let us pay for the year and don't break the bank. But Fight for the Fallen, I've always enjoyed their Fight for the Fallen shows. It was probably one that I didn't enjoy, but it was more so on the card, just was all over the place booking wise. But as far as the actual concept of Fight for the Fallen and them raising money and to donate it to a cause, I enjoyed. This is pretty much I always look at their Fight for the Fallen as their tribute to the troops,
Right. Right.
but not exactly to the troops, but more so to the fallen. So yeah, that piqued my interest with them going on Max. Do you feel like what do you want to see as a consumer out of AEW on Max? Do you feel like they should? Because I know I remember they said something about they're going to do pay-per-views there
Mhm.
eventually, but at a discounted rate, but you still going to have to pay.
It's like it's almost like what ESPN does with ESPN Plus. Like you pay for ESPN Plus, but there's UFC pay-per-views that you have to pay an additional fee for. So I could see something similar from them if they're going to do it on Max. Except they're saying, I guess if you have a Max account or what have you, you can buy the pay-per-view at a discounted rate. And I'm sure they're going to probably offer it to people outside of Max at like a regular, pay-per-view rate, I'm guessing. Um,
Hmm.
it seems like it would be wise to try to get into some sort of streaming service and try to partner yourself with them or some sort of make some sort of revenue from that. Um, But I mean, to me also, how long is that deal for? Like, and what do you get out of it, and how do you benefit from it financially? And the main reason why I'm looking at it from the business aspect as opposed to the exposure for the talent aspect is because I just want to know how it's going to benefit them, because the more that they make, the more that they can invest in the product. The more they invest in the product, the better they can make the product. Not to say that they shouldn't, like, that they're perfect, they don't need to invest. Like, WWE still needs to invest in their product, the billions that they're making over there.
The
There's
music.
clearly some places where they could use some investing in some of the product. But I'm hoping and praying that it works out for AEW. It's a success all the way around. Bottom line.
And keeping it to the streaming services, Raw on Netflix is definitely shaping up to be quite the show. They just dropped their press release on this past week, basically saying it's going to premiere on Netflix January 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Tickets going to sell this Friday, but they're going to do the early, I believe you get the pre-code tomorrow. They included and they announced that also, outside of surprises, because they promoted Roman Reigns, undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, I believe, and John Cena. But they also announced that Travis Scott will be the official theme song for Raw going forward. So that's 3 WWE main shows that has hip hop or rap as the theme song. And I just know a certain subsection of social media is popping vessels right now. Like, oh my God, rap does not belong in wrestling. It should be rock and roll. No, it's called diverse. It's called diversity. I'm not the one that's going to lose sanity over rap, because I ain't gonna sit here and act like the rock, like that wrestling put me on to certain songs in rock.
Right, facts.
But at the same time, I love my hip hop, rap, soul music. So if they want to throw on some Travis Scott, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Glow, it don't matter to me. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna get hot. I sat through Triple H's era of Poppy with NXT Black and Gold for what was it, like 3 years? So y'all can sit through their hip hop phase for 3 years. Y'all will be fine.
I mean, come on now. Let's the whole most of the Attitude Era, it was some sort of rock or grunge or something like that.
Remember DX's 2000 thing, King's Rock.
Yeah. And so I'm just saying, like, let's not act like this is some abomination or something like that. Like, and if you want to be real about it, yeah, it's some wild conspiracy to try to all this DEI stuff. I blame it on it's man, shut up. Just shut up. Because I'm really just trying to figure out, like, why get y'all so upset? What's up, Sloan? I'm trying to figure out like what is the cause of y'all to be popping blood vessels because you hear a different kind of music. Like,
and it's like 40 seconds. So you literally can if it bothers you that much, you can literally turn the show on at 8:01.
Mute it. Fast forward through it. I mean, I don't know what to tell. Turn it on at 8:02.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as soon
just
as the
make
intro
sure
is
you
done.
miss it. Yeah. Boom. Problem solved. There we go. Done deal. Merry Christmas. Move on with life. Like, get out of here with that. Cause I don't know, man. I just whatever. Bro. Like, y'all not about to make me pop a blood vessel because y'all stupid.
Right. Like, y'all not about to make me pop a blood vessel because y'all don't know how this beautiful thing called balance. Because I grew up, the fun thing is I grew up in the church. So I grew up listening to gospel music. And then as I got older, I started listening to hip hop and soul and classic. And then as I started getting into wrestling more, I'm listening to your Rock, I'm listening to your Alter Bridge, your ACDC. I'm listening to all these people that wrestling introduced me to. But you don't hear me saying, "Oh my God, you know what?" I'm like, you know what? I wish this would be better with hip hop.
Yeah.
I just embrace what they got in front of me.
Thank you.
And then if they do put something else in front of me, I'm like, yo, this is it. This is fire.
Right.
Like, so now, but then when I see y'all bitching about it, I'm gonna troll you because like now you giving me a reason to question us. Like y'all acting like this is the end of the world. Oh my God, why they choose Meg? Oh my God, why they choose Chloe? Oh my God, why they choose Cardi B? Because Cardi B is the likely a theme song for SummerSlam, like she was in 2021, I believe, with the Up.
Yeah.
So
it
she's
was
like
2021, 2022, one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those. It was, I think it was the first SummerSlam back in front of fans. So yeah, 2021. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I'm like, one thing about me is like if certain songs for everybody, and there's certain songs that ain't for me. The Up song got annoying after a while, but you didn't see me ranting and raving about it.
Right.
So it's like I was like, you know what? This is for everybody. That's how I write this stuff off. But yeah, seeing the continued uproar, and I'm like, that's why I'm always trolling y'all. Whether it's on this on my page or through the Public Enemies podcast, it doesn't matter. Like we're trolling y'all because y'all are hilarious right now. Because it's like you're giving us a reason to, and we just
exactly.
But yeah, WWE's on Netflix in January. Hopefully they fix those bugs. Because you watched the Tyson versus Paul.
Yes, I watched as much of it as I could.
You didn't miss much.
I was allowed.
You didn't miss much, my brother. That's more scripted than professional wrestling, brother.
Look here. When I saw certain opportunities, even at 58 years old, where Mike could have blasted Jake and he didn't, I was like, you know what?
He looked right at. It was a few times where he looked right at the glove, and it's like you can see he saw it coming, and he just took it. So I'm like, huh. So it's like after round, because he had to go to 8 rounds just to get paid. After the 4th round, I just checked out. I was just like, yeah, this is whatever.
Bruh, it was just on at one point.
The co-main event was more entertaining than this one, even though
I was really watching it for that. And the Mario's Barrios fight. Those were the 2 fights that I was really watching it for. Like, was I hoping to see Jake Paul get knocked out? Of course. Was it probably going to happen? Probably not.
No.
But just like any Tyson fight, you watch it for the first 2, maybe 3 rounds. And after that, it's a crapshoot.
Because Tyson's the type of guy that will knock you out in 1. So if he don't knock you out in 1, maybe 2, yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, just go ahead and just go get you a drink. Go get you some leftover sweet potato pie. Don't matter. Just go get you some food.
You can put some chicken tenders in the air fryer like somebody did.
Go down the street. Go down the street to Whataburger, because I'm down the street from a Whataburger now. I don't know if it tastes the same as the one in Texas though. So
it don't.
So
it don't. Everybody say that, bro. Everybody say like because we got some other friends that they say the same thing. Like it don't taste right. It
don't taste the same. Like
got to have the one in Texas.
Like this is Mexican. This is what a McDonald's. Like what is happening right now? That's what it tastes like. I'm like, it tastes like McDonald's. I can just go to regular McDonald's. Shit.
You know?
But nah, man, that fight was hilarious. But yeah, hopefully they get those bugs situated where the servers was just glitching like crazy. Because imagine you hear Cody Rhodes theme song, the at the curtain eyes come out whole, and then what?
You gotta hold your whoa because it's glitching.
and then as soon as it come back, so you miss a whole
look,
section.
You done missed the whole thing, bruh. I said if Netflix does this and Roman comes out, his entrance gonna take till WrestleMania or the next Royal Rumble or something before he finished coming out if it's on Netflix. But nah, like that happened because they had like 60-something million people trying to watch it all at one time.
And that's what I was saying, because I was talking with Lala yesterday, and I was like, I said I feel like even though WWE might do a good number, I feel like they're not going to hit that number to where it's going to glitch their servers out.
Right.
You'll probably get maybe, I say you probably, if they promote it right, you may get 10 million homes. I don't, but as far as overall, but I don't know about live, probably maybe 4 million, 5 million live.
I'm not even guessing that much. I'm gonna be modest about it. They probably gonna hit around the same numbers that they're hitting, maybe a little bit more or a little bit less, simply because it's on a streaming platform and not like an actual.
Oh yeah, because it's not free.
Cable
It's behind
channel or whatever. It's
behind
a
a paywall.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why my guess is like, they may hit a number basically around where they're at now. I could see like them doing, like around 1 million or so. 750,000, between
that was me
750
being optimistic.
1.5. Hey, now that premiere episode on the 6th, I think you might be right about that though. I think you might be dead on about that one, because it's going to be a new thing and it's going to be the shiny new toy. Some people have Netflix, and some people may just tune in on Netflix. Let's see what this is. Let's see what all the fuss is about. I got Netflix. I
think they still got the free trials too. So they probably hit up that free trial and just be like, okay, is this worth the long-term investment for just one show? Like, because the thing with me with Netflix, I watch other stuff too. So it's like I already have it. If I didn't watch Netflix, or if I was the type of person that just didn't have Netflix, or if they would have went to Amazon Prime, I watch stuff on Amazon Prime. Like that's another show I got to catch up on. That Cross show, I gotta watch that. I'm hearing good reviews about it, so I'm definitely gonna watch that. But I'm just saying, like, stuff that it's like I'm already in the mindset, like I'm watching something that's like, case in point, it's a couple of Disney movies that are coming out. I already have Disney Plus because my nieces and my brother has access to my account. So I'm like, I'm already gonna, and I watch stuff with them over the holidays. So I'm like, I'm already gonna watch something. So if it's there, I'm gonna put it on. So it's like I'm not the type of person, the advocate that be like, I need a reason to like, I'm gonna watch strictly for wrestling. So hopefully WWE gives the people a reason to keep Netflix for the apparently this is going to be 52 weeks a year on Netflix, because I believe it's a multi-year deal. So hopefully they give them a reason to stick around, because I believe I saw a picture where they was like they're going to put not old, but like on demand content, not just Raw but SmackDown as well as NXT. So they're gonna put a lot of the archives on there too. So it's interesting. It's gonna the move to Netflix next year is gonna be interesting. You got Raw on Netflix, SmackDown USA, and NXT on the CW. So
they are spreading their wings. They're touching every corner: cable, over air, and streaming platforms. Like they're the whole thing about this globalization stuff that they're trying to do, that all speaks to why they went with Netflix, because they can reach a bigger, broader audience much easier with Netflix than they can doing going back to cable. So I could see the vision, for what they're trying to do, and it just speaks to them and TKO Endeavor, that whole conglomerate, for what they're trying to do as far as combat sports and entertainment is concerned in general. WWE is following right along suit, right in line, and they were already moving towards this before that whole merger and sale started. So it just makes sense for them to continue along this path.
Thanks. But yeah, man. That's our thoughts on Raw on Netflix. And speaking of thoughts and path, what's been your thoughts on this build to Survivor Series War Games?
we talked about AEW accelerating feuds and whatnot, rushing into things. The way they've took their time with this Bloodline storyline has been immaculate. But that women's War Games match, that's the one I think, like, it just, like, you threw everything together, like, in, like, a week and a half or so.
That should have been, and I believe I had this conversation with Lala as well as Hi-Lite. That should have been a traditional tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is because it's like, I get the history. You got Rhea Liv. You got Nia, Tiffany, Candice, the big three. And you got Raquel and Liv, Rhea, and then Io is the number one contender for Liv. So I'm like, I feel like that's not warranted enough for a War Games match.
No, I think traditional Survivor Series, if you wanted to do a 5-on-5 elimination, do it. Right. And you can tell more stories through that match than you can trying to do a War Games match. War Games, you're forcing this to be like a 20, 30 minute at least marathon, when this could have been a good, 15, 20 minute Survivor Series traditional tag team elimination match.
Mm-hmm.
Been just as fun, giving them almost just as much time, but actually been able to tell better stories with the eliminations.
Because if we remember how they structure these War Game matches, it's literally 5-minute intervals between each. So you're going to be spending at least, so it's like what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes of just stalling.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I'm invested in the super team, that is Bianca, Jade, Io, Rhea, Naomi, like, damn, that's one lopsided super team. As interesting as I am in them, it's not enough for me to be like, yo, they need a War Games match. Because one thing that I always try to tell people is like, yes, we advocate for women to be equal to the men. Mm-hmm. But I want to also advocate for women to be treated equal to the men as far as the story and the time that they are that you invest in them. Because one thing I refuse to accept is half-ass stories just to say, hey, we got them on the card. Hey, we're giving them a War Games match just because. Yeah. Like, I need stakes in this, because they're in the War Games match, and it will. And trust me, one thing that I will give them credit to: the women's War Games match has a tendency of being better than the men. Same with the Royal Rumble.
Yes,
but I also want them to not get in the habit again of just half-assing it, just to say, hey, here's your women's match. I say the same thing with AEW when it comes to their one woman match per Dynamite. Don't just say, here, nigga, damn. Give us a reason to care. And like, give us the reason to sit there for 30 minutes to care, because I should not be more invested in the men than the women. It should be an equal playing field, to where I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see both War Game matches. Let's let them cook this, that, and the third. But it's like, nah, let's. And it's like, I'm at that point now where I'm like, okay, if next year they say no to War Games and go back to the regular Survivor Series for just a year, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're getting rid of War Games. No, we need to space it out, because I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I got everybody's opinion on it. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. You run the risk of War Games turning into Hell in a Cell when they had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Bingo. Bro, and Triple H said that he was going to protect these gimmick matches. He was going to make sure that when he used them, they meant something. This one kind of felt thrown together, whereas on the men's side, I was like, oh no, they've been building to this for the longest. and it's been that slow burn since Mania. You know, of all of this stuff happening and going on, it's been this slow burn. Whereas this match, I want to see it and I'm interested in it. However, with the women's side, it's like, okay, we just got a bunch of people. It seemed like y'all found a way to get the two women's champions, the tag team champions, people in their orbit and storylines. Let's throw them all together in one match. This is almost like the pre-show battle royal that they sometimes will do.
Are you talking about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
Yes, like this is like a pre-show battle royal on steroids, basically. Like, all right, like you said, here nigga damn. This is a fancy here nigga damn match. That's basically what this women's war game match is.
And it's like I'm cool and I'm friends with a lot of people who are pro women's wrestling, and it's like I've even heard them say, yeah, no, let's build. Why haven't we built to this? Why haven't we given this some? Why didn't we marinate this? This is the equivalent of them TikToks where they cook mac and cheese but don't boil the pasta. So it's like when you eat the cheese, the outside is good, is well good and cooked, but when you dig into it and you bite it, it's still no. You have to boil the pasta. You have to let it cook. You have to sprinkle it. You have to season it. You have to put your layers of cheese, whether it's a Swiss cheese, your shredded cheese, your sharp cheese, whatever cheese you prefer on your mac and cheese, and let it let it cook. You have to let it cook. Don't just say, "Boom!" Here, like y'all basically just gave y'all let the men's war game match cook. Even though I still don't feel like I still feel like it should have been 4v4, but that's neither here nor there. Y'all let the men's war game match cook, and then y'all gave us the Lunchable, that is the women's war games match.
This was basically your grandmother, aunt, mom's baked macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving. That girl that you dated that had the apartment in college, that craft macaroni and cheese. That's what we looking at. They both mac and cheese. At their core, they're both mac and cheese. One was well done, well presented, tastes well, has all the bells and whistles. The other was like, I'm putting this on your plate to take up space and hopefully take up space in your stomach.
Yeah.
Just to feed and sustain you.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of undercooked turkey versus overcooked ham.
Oh. Why would you do that right before Thanksgiving? God damn, Josh.
You look so disappointed. Like,
damn. Come on, man. Goddamn.
Like, damn. Now I got this thought in my head going into next week. Shit.
Yeah.
but nah, man. It's just more so like we just want y'all to handle okay. Will the matches be fine? Yes, they will be fine. Yeah. I will enjoy both matches likely, but it's just more so giving the build up. It's like I will always critique the build up to it. Let's see what else happened on SmackDown outside of. Oh, I guess we could talk about the men's side of things. So basically, we have Big Bronson Reed is now the fifth man for the men's war games. So instead of it being the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, it's the OG Bloodline and partner versus the new Bloodline and Bronson Reed, even though Bronson fits in like a glove because he's just another big nigga.
He another gentleman that has at least half Polynesian descent.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, he's Samoan, but I believe he said in an interview he don't know much about that side of his family.
He's I believe he's half Samoan and half like something else. Because he said he's Afakasi, which basically means like half breed Samoan.
Okay. Kind of like our boy Cam. So makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That when I saw his tweet and he said that, I was like, oh, I know what that means.
I said that
Got
too. I
it.
was like, oh, I know that. Like I felt like Ed from Good Burger. I know some of these words.
Exactly. Hey, look at this. I recognize
Yeah, I
that.
know
What
that.
that mean? Right? Yeah, man. So
But
like
no, man.
I was able to identify. I was like, hey, look at that. All
But
right, yeah,
yeah,
you
I
fit right in.
actually I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm actually cool with Bronson. It makes sense to an extent to like, okay, he wants to make a name for himself from the story that they're telling. They're telling the story. He wants to make a name for himself. He literally said, he's like, hey, I'm here to make a name for myself. I took out Seth and now I'm finna take out Roman. Two of the big guys. You got the big guy, and then you got one of the biggest guys in Roman Reigns that I'm taking out. And I'm finna make a name for myself. And for a guy who's been rocking with this man since NXT, the first time before he got released, and then when he went to New
Yes.
Japan, I didn't really watch a lot of his New Japan work when he was just Jonah,
Mm-hmm.
but I am cool with him getting this opportunity because I feel like he can be a credible and long-term big man that they can literally build an entire show around or a division around. Whether it's the mid card or the world or the main event, like I feel like he should be a consistent as well as consistent booking. So I'm rocking with it. Now I still, whether it's Bronson Reed or whoever joins the OG bloodline, I still feel like it should be 4v4, which they've done in the past because I believe they've done that with Undisputed Era versus Team Ciampa. It was like 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no reason for them to add a fifth man.
You know, I don't get the need sometimes to force tradition. And this is one of those things where I think that they were just basically forcing tradition.
Mhm.
And it's not needed in this case because you had the built-in 4v4. You could have done the traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match here and told an even better, bigger story with this match. You wanted to
Mhm.
go War Games, you could have still done 4v4 in the War Games match. There was no need to add a fifth person.
No.
But they did, and they're trying to, and this is the part of this long-term booking, shout out to the enemies, that's being told here is the four is the OG versus the new, but trying to add that fifth person last minute, that's just kind of, I don't know, man. It's just a little bit too much of a shoehorn.
Oh, it is.
It's just a little, it's just a little too much of a shoehorn for me. I'm sorry. Bronson Reed fits. Now, what they do with this fifth person on the OG bloodline side, that's going to be the real like kicker. Is to where that's going to lie and how that's going to work out and whatnot, and just seeing what they're going to do with it. But
You think
still,
Seth? Do you think Seth makes sense?
Seth makes sense to a certain extent, but him being so adamant, I'm not going to team with Roman. I'm not going to team with Roman. Kind of
Gives it
makes me
away.
think that he could exactly. It's probably going to be him because he's so adamant that he's not. If he was more casual about it, I believe like, nah, it's not going to be Seth. But
Oh,
because
he
he
would
was
just
so
simply say,
adamant,
nah.
yeah, and then just walked off.
Mhm.
That's all he needed to do. Nah, I'm good.
Like this man is bitching and moaning like a petulant ex-girlfriend. Like
Like, bruh,
I refuse to I
I
did
will
everything.
not team
I
with
did
Roman.
everything to take that tyrant off his pedestal, and you want me to team up with you guys to build him up. Jay, I would team with you. Sammy, I would team with you. Hell, Jimmy, I would team with you, but I refuse. I refuse to team up with Roman Reigns. And I'm like, boy, you acting like you innocent. How did
You
Roman become this way?
because of you.
Because of you. You ignited his trust issues. You ignited his hunger for power because when you were in the authority, you kept screwing him over. He was like, okay, what's the best way for me to get on top and
Mhm.
stay on top? Okay, I have to be in power. I have this Ula Fala. I'm a tribal chief. I will be a tyrant for 4
Mhm.
years. It's because of you, brother. Like
It's
I feel
all
like Seth and Roman just need to just accept the fact that they are both not innocent. Hell, Mox is not even innocent in some way, shape, or form when it comes to the Shield. Even though he didn't turn on Roman, he turned on Seth
right.
and indirectly brushed Roman to the side. So I'm like, nobody's a saint but Seth. It's like, my brother, just team up with the man and call it a day. Like you ain't got to keep
Accept
bitching.
it. Accept it for what it is. Just accept it for what it is. I mean, they really they either need to have like that blow off Hell in a Cell at Mania, Taker Triple H style match with each other, or
Mm-hmm.
couples therapy. I don't know. One
Couples
or the
therapy.
other, both, something. I mean, they really they could be like the new age version of like Team Hell No, but on like some like old school like Terry and Macho Man type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
because they are the two biggest names in WWE right now, arguably two of the bigger names in WWE right now. And you put them together in some sort of storyline or tag team or whatever, it would print money. But I just need them to they got to do something. I'm starting to whenever you start to like introduce them back into the same realm of each other, it always teases that dream match that people want to have again. And that one that we had a couple years ago at the Rumble, it did not satisfy the audience
Yeah, it was
of
a
what they want in
DQ,
this
wasn't it?
feud. Believe so. Yeah, Roman got DQ because he kept hitting Seth with the chair.
Or was
I'm
no,
mistaken.
I think I remember. It was DQ because he had him in the guillotine and he got his hand on the rope and he just did not let go, which made it feel flat. Like if he would have went straight to the attack of the chair, then it probably wouldn't have felt as flat. But him locking in the guillotine kind of fell flat with a lot of people. But yeah, so because Seth beat Roman 2016 and Roman has never beaten Seth, so we're going to definitely get that match eventually. But as far as this scenario, do you feel like Paul plays a part in this? Because this picture right here is after Roman called Paul Heyman on SmackDown, and he did not
Mhm.
get a response because the phone number has been disconnected.
I think that they've teased it so much that there's no way Heyman does not play a part in this. Now, when I say Heyman playing a part in this, I don't mean that he has to physically be there to play a part in this.
Right.
To me, he's already starting to play a part in this because of this picture in this scene. What Roman tried to call it. There could also be something where someone they have a backstage. Hey, we talked to him. He's on his way. He's on his way. He's going to bring us somebody. He's going to bring us somebody, and then he doesn't show. And then now, boom, you have some other big surprise of some other fifth person, whatever. Like, I think that Paul Heyman is going to play a factor into this match, whether he's there or not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I feel like, and we'll definitely get to our predictions next week, but I definitely feel like he will not only play a part of the actual way the match goes. I feel like him and possibly The Rock will play a part in how the
Yeah,
match
definitely.
concludes. Because I feel like this Survivor Series will definitely let you know the direction that they're going at WrestleMania.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait. And it used to be back in the day, like Survivor Series would actually kick off the road to WrestleMania in a sense.
Hmm.
Uh, And because you would start to see new things take place, you know, um, you would start to see like, things start to shape up a little bit going into the Rumble. And then, from Rumble to Mania, we full speed ahead. But sometimes you start to see things take place or take shape. I'm what I'm trying to say at the Survivor Series.
Okay.
I'm not really expecting that now because we have 2 War Games matches, and that's going to take up a ton of time and a ton of talent.
I mean, they got us starting at 6 p.m. next week, so they got time.
And here's the thing: if we're gonna hold to what pay-per-views have been under the Triple H era, as we're gonna call it, they're gonna be tight around that 3-hour window, maybe 4. They're gonna try to keep it tight around 3-ish,
like 3:30 maybe.
Yeah, and they're gonna be around 5, 6, maybe 7 matches at the most.
Nah, it's gonna be definitely 5 or less.
This one has to be 5 or less because you got 2 War Games matches.
Yeah,
so,
because remember, because one thing about it, we'll probably get a brawl though. Like whatever, if they do advertise an extra match, that's gonna definitely be a brawl, kind of like what they did with Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel, where it's more so of a brawl than a match.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And what I could see from that, I could see it being Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I could see them doing another sort of like how he's supposed to go face to face with him or something like that.
Oh, next week? That's gonna happen on SmackDown. They're gonna probably announce the match for Survivor Series, and then it's probably not gonna start.
Something like that. I could definitely see Kevin Owens trying to take Cody out and maybe like injuring him or something like that. And then he gets this, super bad guy status or whatever. And it gives Cody time off to write him off, to let him rest up because supposedly at Crown Jewel, didn't he like hurt himself or something like that?
Yeah.
So if he needs time to heal up, which he hasn't been like full on wrestling on TV, not sure if he's doing house shows or anything, but that would be a perfect way to have him.
Yeah, he's still doing house shows.
Okay, well then, there you have it. Truth for Kids.
Yeah, so yeah, he's still doing house shows. It's more so. I feel like they probably going to extend it to maybe Saturday night's main event because they're going to definitely stack that show up because it's the first Saturday night's main event since 2008,
right. December 14th.
Yep.
That's
so you're going to
a few weeks right after Survivor. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to stack it up. So it probably be like I definitely see Cody versus KO at Saturday night's main event if they don't do it at Survivor Series. Marshall Mike's said he probably hurt his finger trying to put that small ass ring on. Probably. No, like that nigga force that ring on his finger. Like, come on, dog. Like,
hey man.
Shit. Like I got rings for days, and I'll be like, if my finger gets big or if it's on the wrong finger, I'm not finna force it. I'm gonna try another finger. Like, come on, dog.
Bruh. Like I don't even try. I'm just like, no.
They definitely resized that ring though.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
It was like, yeah, they're like, yeah, my bad, Cody. We got the wrong size.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they probably did the little inside shaving and then re-engraved it on the inside for him or something like that, because that sounds like the easiest way to resize a ring.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but it's a nice looking ring though.
Mm-hmm.
Nice looking ring.
It's the equivalent of the NBA. Speaking of rings and championships, Bayley advances in the tournament for the Women's U.S. Championship. And pretty much they're going the route that I said they need to go. They need someone that is established to either contend for or win the championship, to establish it, and then whoever they want to. So basically, whoever wins this tournament, if they're established, it's automatically a given that they're set up to put over whoever their first challenger is.
Definitely. I could see. I was saying people like Bailey, Natalia, Naomi. Um, oh gosh, there was somebody else. I know those were the three that I thought of initially, because they're established stars, former world champions, and they've been in the company, 10+ years, all of them. So there's a reason why one of those three ladies would be perfect to hold that U.S. title first. But somebody like Amia Yim could also benefit from establishing that title, because even though she hasn't been with the company that long and she isn't a former world champion, she is a longtime veteran of the industry and well respected. So I would think somebody like her would be another wise choice as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I feel like I said, I know a lot of like I don't really divulge into a lot of discourse like I used to, as far as like the outcome of a match, because people wishy washy left and right. But I'm like, it's pretty clear as day where they're going with this. Is like they need someone, because it's similar to the women's tag team titles. Like I feel like Bailey and Sasha Banks made sense to put them on first, because they were a team. They advocated for them, and it's like, do I feel like they could have handled them better? Probably.
Damn right they could have.
They could have handled it a lot better. And speaking of the mid card title, I believe I read somewhere where Bailey feels like they should have established the tag team titles more before introducing the mid card title. And I agree with that as well. Like I feel like Jade and Bianca have done their due diligence with their titles, but at the same time, it's like I feel like y'all could have done a lot better with those tag team titles. Like because outside of Sasha, Bailey, the Iconics, I feel like everybody else was just makeshift tag teams, and that was their first mistake. Oh, and Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. But yeah, everybody else was just makeshift tag teams.
Yeah. And I love when they make a tag team, but the tag team actually gets over. So the makeshift tag team that actually gets over and becomes a thing has always been one of my favorite things in pro wrestling. This dates back to like, the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
And yes, because I am that old. But I just think that they have a point, because Jade and Bianca are trying to establish those titles. What could have further helped them establish those titles was not dropping it and then getting it right back. The hot potatoing of the title does not help establish the title, and it only got you a cheap pop and maybe sold some extra merch or whatever at Clash at the Castle or what have you.
Yep.
But it was a nice tip of the hat to Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. But Jade and Bianca are really trying to, firmly, I'll say, establish those women's tag team titles. They need to make sure whoever this inaugural U.S. Women's Champ has at least a 6-month run with the belt, and do the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. Go down to NXT maybe and have matches there, or bounce back and forth between SmackDown and Raw. Really work to establish that title. Do it. You learn from your mistakes of not establishing the tag team titles and do better with this one, is what I'll say.
Yeah. And I thought it was going to be, because Michael Cole was like, it's going to go back and forth, but I feel like the whole bracket is just the SmackDown side. So I feel like, well, we'll find out after they crown the champion. But do you feel like there should be a hot potato between shows, or you feel like they need an Intercontinental title on the Raw side?
Hot potato it. Because they need to do the same thing with the tag titles, because you don't have as many women on the roster, period, to say we're going to have a mid-card title on both shows. We're going to have tag titles on both shows. Like, honestly, they should have a mid and a tag title, and that's it. Like NXT, I could see why they want to have a mid-card and tag titles down there, is because you have all of these women that you're developing.
Yeah, they don't even have the NXT tag titles down there no more.
Oh no, that's right. They sure don't. They got rid of it because they combined it with
the one. Yeah. So, but they have the North American title, so that's pretty much their equivalent to the U.S. title. So it's like they can definitely, if they do an open challenge, they can call somebody up from NXT, and that could be a way to establish them with that women's U.S. title.
See, this is why I still think that they could have done something more with the Meta Girls and Bianca and Jade, like to do something in NXT on an NXT pay-per-view, maybe even instead of doing what they did at the ECW pay-per-view, ECW Arena pay-per-view special or whatever. I still think that they should have done something more with that to try to, further tease that, hey, yeah, you girls down in NXT, y'all can compete for these titles too. So I'm not sure. I think, calling the Meta Girls up and letting them do their thing on SmackDown and Raw was cool, but every so often tease something down in NXT, throw them a bone or so,
Yeah. And they do, but it's just more so I feel like for as far as the women, yeah, they do need to do that more. And I feel like I said it last week and I'll say it again, how they booked Becky's NXT title run should be how they booked the women's US title.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like as far as like it's literally y'all literally just got handed a plate on a cookie on a silver platter. Literally, like, yeah, here you go. And I believe I just mentioned Becky, and it just reminded me she's coming back in January. So for those who missed Becky Lynch, I believe she said she's not going to let the last image of Dominic Mysterio slamming the door in her face is not going to be how she goes out. So this is basically a sabbatical. So she'll definitely be back for Netflix.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what else we got on the docket for this week. Shinsuke Nakamura's back.
Yes.
And he's a ninja.
Yes. I love Shinsuke. Love Shinsuke.
He caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what? What? All I saw was a dude standing behind. I was like, how? And then he I thought he hit him with his jacket, but he hit him with a back elbow. He was just so quick with it. I was like, did you just slap this man in the face with your jacket?
He jacket whipped him.
Like if you look back at it, it was so fast. All you saw was just his coat just slap him in the face. So I was like, did you just sell a jacket slap? I mean, I respect it, but damn.
Hey man, look. People used to sell a Cobra from Santino Marella. So
this is also
a jacket slap, hey. I mean, it is what it is. It's pro wrestling.
True. And last thing from SmackDown, are you interested in another DIY split?
No, I'm not. And I wasn't gonna ride the fence on this one and say I don't really care, but no, I'm not. Am I interested? Yes, but not now. Save this down the line somewhere because they're trying to get the tag division popping. So why?
That's another thing too.
Like we already tag teams.
We already have strife with New Day.
Exactly.
We don't need all these teams to have strife. Like at some point, you got to realize, like, hey, we're copying and pasting right now.
Yeah, I mean something, man. You got to do something. Like I could see them teasing this and holding off on it. And what I would love nothing more would be for them, because I think that they're going to eventually visit this because they always end up doing it because it's just too good of a story not to tell on the main roster because they've only told it in NXT.
Right.
Would be to do it differently this time. Have Johnny turn on Ciampa.
They've done that
story
before.
Up a little bit. I mean, they've done it before, yes, but most of the time when they've done it, it's been like KO turning on Sammy. It's always the one or the other, but they've done it where Johnny has turned on Ciampa before. I would just say maybe freshen it up and have Gargano go heel.
Honestly, I feel like I think I said it on Twitter last week. I said I feel like they should have because they're chopping up this mentorship that Johnny has with the Motor City Machine Guns. I feel like they should just have Johnny just super kick his mentor, and then they both go heel. Because a heel DIY might be interesting. Because when I think about it, all DIY has been babyface.
Yep.
So a heel frustrated DIY could be like they could literally just flip the switch and just have Johnny just turn heel too.
That would be dope. I wouldn't mind that at all. I would not mind that at all. I want to see the heel Gargano though. I want to see because Johnny
the way version.
Yeah, yes. I don't mind. I don't mind that kooky, quirky. Like I don't mind that heel, but I also don't mind like the dark, like kind of.
The first version.
The first version.
Remember when he attacked Aleister Black?
Yes,
he was dark a little bit.
That version of Gargano. Now, if he did that with Ciampa, and they both turn heel,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that would be more interesting as opposed to just the typical, we're going to split up DIY for a one-off match and then Ciampa move on. It's like, have them both turn. But would that be too close of a term? Because I feel like they're also teasing something with the Street Profits.
Here's the thing. We can prolong the DIY thing. Have Motor City Machine Guns get attacked. Somebody, who the hell did it? Blah blah blah. Another backstage mystery who done it, thing. Long term pay it off. It's Gargano who did it, right?
Right.
And he does it to prove to Ciampa, like, yes, I want us to get to that next level. Yes, I'm willing to do anything. Blah 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 blah. I'm willing to come over to the dark side, and that kind of throws Ciampa off. Like, whoa, dude, I didn't think you were going to go this crazy. Something like that. With the Street Profits, I say they could keep teasing that tension and dragging that out, or they could just, put it to bed, like I think they did when Dawkins decided, like, nah, F this. Like, I'm punching you in the mouth because I'm tired of this shit. Like, I like that. And then Montez was already on, like, this is some BS. So when Dawkins was the one who threw the punch after what Montez said in the interviews and stuff in the promos, it seems like they're already on the same page. They put that to bed as far as them teasing a split or anything like that. That's just my opinion on it.
No, that makes perfect sense. And it's like, I feel like instead of splitting up tag teams, like everybody keeps clamoring for, like, oh my God, when is the Street Profits gonna break up? When is DIY gonna break up? When is the New Day gonna break up? And I'm like, these both divisions on both shows are light as hell. Nobody can afford a breakup. That's what That's what keep pushing me. That's why I keep pushing back. I'm like, nobody can afford a breakup. Raw can't afford a breakup, and SmackDown can't afford a breakup.
Just turn them heel and do exactly what you're doing. Tease some tension, tease some frustration, or whatever it is. Use whatever that storyline is that you're teasing, that tension, frustration, whether it be within the team or the team having tension and frustration outside. Like, use that, turn those guys heel, flip the roster a little bit, and now you have in the Motor City Machine Guns, you have babyface champions with all these heels vying for the titles. See who's
you
going
got
to come
at
out
least
on
a good
top.
6 months worth of programming.
Let it cook. Let it cook. You line them up, knock them down if you want, or you can hot potato the title or do whatever. But I mean, you have options.
Make it interesting.
You have different. Thank you. That's all I'm trying to say. Just make it interesting. Whatever you do with the title, just make it interesting.
Just make it interesting. Like, don't make me just sit there like, all right.
It's that like happened. You have if you have all the ingredients for a great meal, and you decide, you know what, I'm just gonna throw all this in the slow cooker, and I'm gonna pour some barbecue sauce on it. Call it a day. Like, no, you don't take a ribeye and put it in the slow cooker and just pour barbecue sauce on it with some potatoes and stuff just because you're being lazy. Like, no, do that steak right. Make them potatoes right. Take your time with it.
Let them like I said with the mac and cheese, boil the macaroni, boil the pasta.
Wait, and I'm gonna give y'all a pro tip. Put a little bit of olive oil in your water so your pasta don't stick together.
Yes.
Season your water so your pasta has a little bit of flavor as well.
He put y'all up on game.
I'm just trying to help y'all out because I had my mom and my aunts and them. They was like, "Wait, what?" Well, my mom was like, "Wait, what?" And my aunt was like, I thought I tried that once, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, I do it every single time. And she was like, "Huh, okay."
Because you don't taste it.
No. And the thing is, man, like what convinced me to do it was actually doing potatoes that way. That's what convinced me to do it. And I did some pasta that way one day, and I dumped it in the dish. And I can't remember what I was mixing it with or whatever. And I just saw it sitting there, and I saw like the seasoning on the pasta after I had boiled it, dumped it into the container or whatever. And I was just like, damn, that looks so pretty. Just sitting over there all boiled and seasoned, looking all good. Yeah. I just ate some of it. Just boiled, seasoned pasta. Just like I'm gonna just eat a little
bit. Like everything. They're like, "Are you eating already?" Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I gotta taste it though, like at different stages when I'm putting something together. I gotta taste it like in the different stages just to make sure, because like I don't want it to come out like tasting like something and I don't know what it's gonna come out to. I need to taste it along the way if I can to make sure that the end product is gonna end up like I want it. Same thing like with these storylines. I'm looping it back around. I'm a professional. You have to put it together and you have to like find the right ingredients, and you have everything you need right there with all of these teams, with all these different storylines going on, teasing breakups and teasing turning heel and teasing being frustrated. And we the new guys on the block, and we've been around for 20 years, but we finally got here and now we're on top. And it's like the Bloodline lost their titles on some fugazi stuff and didn't even look to get a rematch. They immediately went into something else. So it's like you have the former tag champs who were basically looked like they were placeholder champions because they just were holding the titles to transition it to someone else. But the bottom line is you have all the ingredients to have this monster tag division. Go ahead and do it justice.
If they want to make that Bronson Reed like association with the Bloodline long term, him and Jacob could be a monster tag team.
Man, you talk about they would run through the tag division. I mean, they would start that's a bowling pin thing where you line them up and them two would just knock them down. Like that. That's something that
because I didn't know that. I didn't think I needed that until I saw them face to face. I was like, yeah, I need that as a tag team.
Beyond that, as a tag team, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as they teamed them up, I'm ready for the breakup in that feud.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be.
That's my main reason for I want them as a tag team, because it's an easy way to break them up and have them feud.
I feel like ever since Jacob went to WWE, I've been fantasy booking all his feuds more than I fantasy book anybody in recent memory, because just how crazy this man is. Like, this man is insane. And it's like, I know it's a running joke, like, oh, it's another Samoan, or another Anoa'i Fatu Samoan dynasty member. But it's like Jacob stands out above everybody. And I can even make an argument that he stands out even a little bit above Roman as far as in-ring wise.
In-ring wise, definitely.
That's a good thing.
And it's not a knock on Roman or nothing like that. No. So don't even try to come for us. No, it's
more
just
so
acknowledging
from
the truth.
He it's like he stands out in a good way, and it makes sense.
Right. The thing is people have to get over their thoughts and feelings, because there's things called facts and there's things called opinions. And facts are something that's actual, you can prove this by saying, here, this is evidence that proves this is a fact, like this is true. But when Gresh and I say something like Jacob stands out in the ring over Roman and it's a good thing, that's our opinion of what we see of these two athletes as far as this thing that they do in the ring. It's not that we're saying this is gospel and you should follow us. No, we're just saying we feel as though this is the case. But one of the things that I saw in Jacob when he got there, one of the people that I would love to see him in just a match with would be Chad Gable.
Ooh.
And low key, because I remember watching the Alex Kane Jacob Fatu match in MLW.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like a 40-something minute match or whatever. But just to see him in the ring with the smaller guy who has like that ability and that move set and whatnot, and still see him sell and still see him be able to throw them around in the give and take and whatnot. And I was like, who could he have this kind of match with when he gets here? And I was like, oh shit, Jacob Fatu and Chad. That's gonna be one of those random SmackDown or Raw matches that they have, and you just like, Jacob Fatu.
Sound like Booker T. Oh yeah, man.
Man, we not about to, man, think about to run through.
Oh yeah, this dude, how you gonna be?
And I just, I don't know, man. I think that's gonna be one of those random, Mondays or Fridays or whatever they want to keep those days as. It's gonna be one of those random Raw SmackDown matches that's gonna cook and people are gonna talk about for a long time, if and when it does happen.
For sure. So, hey man, let's see what else we got on the Raw docket before we switch to AEW and then get up out of here. I think that is, I believe that's all that happened this week on Raw, because Raw was pre-taped. What's your thoughts on these pre-tape shows? Oh, the tag team. We got a couple of things. Ludwig Kaiser is back on his bullshit.
That dude, man, I swear, bro, he don't know how to stay out the way. He really don't. Like, he always get into something, but it's only because he's Gunther's BFF is that the reason why he gets to, skirt responsibility for his actions most of the time. Except Gunther, like if he chop him or something, or like that time when he was like chopping him after matches, him and Vinci. But it just seems like Ludwig is that friend that always gets you into stuff, and he try to help you get out of stuff, and it's like, bro, you making it worse. So I'm gonna have to take the lead here, because evidently every time you take the lead, something bad happened. I'm about to take the lead.
It's kind of like
shut the hell up.
It's kind of like the show that I grew up on, Keenan and Kel. You know about him, Keenan and Kel, where Kel was just following Keenan's lead, and every time Keenan took the lead, some shit popped off.
Exactly. They are the Eastern European white guy version of Keenan and Kel in a wrestling ring.
But hey, man, if the way that the way that him and Gunther was chopping up, it seems like they're going to let them like be apart for the most part, while Gunther is the world champion. So
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Let Ludwig Kaiser establish himself, because he has his own character and he can establish himself as a solo star outside of Gunther. He has the look and everything. Of course, he has the in-ring ability. It would just be, can he continuously carry on like a feud in the promos and everything else without like being somebody else's hype man and whatnot? And I think that he has all the tools to do it.
Yeah, because his promos, he definitely stands out in a good way.
Oh, for sure.
Like he's smooth and elegant with his promo skills, and then in ring wise, I've never seen in recent memory I've never seen a bad Ludwig match to where I'm
Thank
like, okay, I'm gonna turn this shit off.
Right. And that's the thing that I love about guys like him is that you get a little bit of everything, and it's like he a really good comparison. If Cesaro could cut promos and was younger, that's Ludwig Kaiser.
I can see it, minus the
That's
strength.
Ludwig Kaiser. Yeah, of course, minus the strength, much younger, better looking, whatever you want to call it. But they have the same kind of build. They're both excellent in the ring. They have the look and everything. It's just one is much younger and can cut promos. The other one is a little bit older. Is not good on the mic.
Nah, he needs the other one needs a mouthpiece. But yeah, man, I'm intrigued. Like he immediately went after two tough dogs in Braun and Sheamus. So I definitely could see this as a probably potential triple threat for the IC title on a Raw. Probably, like, I doubt it would be at a pay-per-view, but like on a Raw, and maybe like before or after Survivor Series for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they're gonna give them at least 2, maybe 3 segments.
Speaking of segments that caught a lot of people polarized, it was Damian Priest once again dropping, or not once again, but he dropped Gunther after trying to attack the man. He said in the ring you a general, but in the streets I'm a king.
I love that line. That was a whole bar. Because it basically draws the same parallels that Gunther was trying to use to dig at Damian and belittle him. Damian is now using to teach Gunther a lesson. And the other dynamic that they've done with this feud is after he tore him apart last week verbally on the mic, now he's bested him physically, backstage in more of his own element. So it's basically showing chinks in Gunther's armor in different ways. Like he doesn't seem confident, and now he's getting beat up. And what are they going to do next? And I love the way that they're telling this story.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I saw some reaction where people was like, "Oh my, like Gunther's getting beat up more to my liking." But I feel like the stoic, always militant, dominant champion has a lifespan. So it's like if they show that he has a few, like he is not this invincible monster of a champion, they won't run the risk of people getting bored with him or him running stale. So,
and you can always turn him face because that whole shtick works better as a baby face because I'm righteous. I can beat you and I don't have to cheat. He can run that whole shtick as a baby face and turn this whole thing around and keep the same persona, just present it a tad bit differently. Boom, you have a baby face. And if you really want, I know they won't do this, not right now, but you could actually do a double turn here and turn Priest more dark. Lean more into that street thug mentality in that side and turn him back heel. They probably won't do that, but
because they just turned him face, so
right.
It makes sense.
But you can there's ways that you can, tell this story. There's so many different avenues and options that they can go with. But I love what they're doing right now by showing Priest getting the best of Gunther and Gunther, showing concern.
And last thing about from Raw that I want to briefly give our thoughts about is the situation with the Wyatt Six and the Miz and the final Temptations. I mean Testament. It caught my interest. Like last week's thing caught my interest. Last week's attack on the Wyatt Six caught my interest mainly because I feel like they're going to basically set up an entire scenario because Bo Dallas, who looks like Bray too much, like that's his literal twin.
Yeah, that was kind of freaky.
He basically said, "I apologize for what happens next." So, in the lamest terms, the Miz and them, y'all about to die.
Yeah, you know, I'm I'm cautiously optimistic about this because I want to be invested in the Wyatt Six,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the way they've pivoted with Karrion Cross and kind of brought him back to a more prominent level. And to be quite honest with you, I've always been a fan of The Miz because of where he came from and what he had to endure to get to where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally like we're roughly the same age or whatever, and he basically did what I wanted to do, and so I'm living vicariously through Miz right now. So yes, I like whatever I like stuff Miz is doing, but it's one of them storylines where it's like, okay, I'm watching and I'm interested, but tread lightly because you might lose.
Yeah, I feel like the reason why they won't lose you or anybody is because they're not leaning 100% into the spooky.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what it is. I'm
They're
guessing
not
that's what it
invincible.
is.
Like,
Mhm.
like I feel like that's where I feel like they fumbled a little bit with Bray when he was here, is because they made the Fiend too invincible
Mhm.
to where all his matches were boring because he was too untouchable. This man was no selling chops and stumps and chairs to the face, and I'm like, all right, what are we doing?
Yeah, that story should have been told much differently, and the Fiend should have been like a real special attraction. The Fiend and the Demon Finn Balor, those things should have been like WrestleMania Taker, where
I
it
feel like
only.
those things should have been split personality as opposed to basically
But
like the moment they added Bray Wyatt to the Fiend name, they
Mhm.
lost the plot because I feel like they caught everybody's attention when it was like, okay, he's not demonic, but he's developed a split personality
Right,
after years and years of loss and defeat and disrespect. So the Fiend is pretty much his safeguard. So whenever he
it's
whips out the Fiend, it's because that's the last resort.
it's the whole Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Dude Love, Mankind thing.
And I feel like they're
Uh,
doing that right now with Bo because
Mhm.
they have him cutting a promo as Bo, but then you hear the voiceover change as if
Mhm.
Uncle Howdy is coming out. So
And
they're doing that with that, and I appreciate that they're taking their time with this. They're making it where Bo he is broken, but his safe
Mhm.
haven is Uncle Howdy.
Right, it's like I'm liking I'm just watching it and like, okay, I'm digging what y'all doing, and I love that you're trying to give these characters depth and whatnot. I'm just still kind of cautiously optimistic because I don't want you to pivot in the wrong direction and then we start getting down to some stupid stuff. But I think I'm gonna still be optimistic, and like you said, they're probably not leaning too heavy into the spooky, and that's probably why they won't lose me. But I'm still just kind of watching and kind of taking notes. But I like the fact that they're at least giving them airtime, and they're not just like a pop up appearance and then they disappear, and then a pop up appearance and they disappear. Like they're not the start stop thing. They're keeping them relevant, but not like every single week, multiple times a week.
And if you're into the QR code stuff they were doing, the time that you wasn't seeing them on TV, they kept it going with the QR codes.
Yes. Yes.
So they found a perfect balance, and I'm pretty sure when it goes right back, because I believe Raw is going to go back to 3 hours when they move to Netflix. But when it goes back to 3 hours, you're going to see them a lot more, and I feel like they still will take their time with it. It's not going to be the like it's not going. I feel like they're trying their best to take their time. That's the reason why I'm not when they do disappear, I'm not out here like, oh my God, where is the Wyatts? Like you started this and then they're stopped. It's like, no, I'm gonna let them cook because I've said it back then, I say it now. their biggest mistake with the Fiend was rushing him to the world title.
He should have stayed out of the world title picture until there was absolutely nothing left for him to do but get the world title.
Yeah,
There was still way too much that he could have done.
He debuted and he debuted that character in August. He attacked the champion in September, and he was world champion by the end of October. And then they didn't. And then it was like, now you have this invincible monster who can't lose because he's still new. But then you put the world title on him to where he's going to have to eventually lose it. And then he lost it to Goldberg. And then it was down ever since.
Pretty similar to what they did with Undertaker when Undertaker debuted, except it took a little bit longer to put the title on him. But it's like when you put the title on this invincible monster, you're going to need something serious to take the title off of him. And that's why Taker only had so many world title reigns as that character. You're supposed to keep him away from that title picture.
Wasn't it like 7?
I want to say it may have even been less than that. It may be like 5 or 6 or so.
Because I think it was, I mean, yeah, because he had more titles as the American Badass than the Dead Man. So makes sense. But yeah, man, Raw SmackDown this week was interesting. AEW was what it was, and I believe for as far as the betting odds of everything, we pretty much gave our thoughts and opinions on everything from the men's war games, the women's war games, Gunther, Damian Priest, Cody, Kevin Owens potentially. So Survivor Series is going down next week. We'll give our preview and predictions next week. And then as far as last thing we'll be talking about this week is Full Gear. AEW Full Gear. That is dropping Saturday. What's your excitement level on Full Gear this year?
You know, I'm gonna be honest, man. I wasn't really like too excited for it this year as opposed to like previous years, but I'm not gonna lie. Looking at the match card, I'm starting to get more excited about it. And I'm starting to like, it's starting to get me now. It's really starting to get me. And it happens all the time with AEW. Sometimes with some of these AEW pay-per-views, it seems like it pops up on me, right? Because I'm trying to keep up with everything, and then it's like, oh shit, it's a pay-per-view this weekend. Oh dang, like am I ready for this? And then I look at the match card and I'm like, wait a minute. I may not know exactly what's going on in every feud, but I'm aware.
I'm aware.
And you know, and I'm like, okay, I have a reason, or I could come up with a reason if I had to watch every single match on this card. Will I be pins and needles, like tuned in, you know, focused on nothing but Full Gear? No, because it's college football Saturday, and I'm probably going to be trying to watch college football and hit a parlay. But AEW is going to be I'll probably have AEW. If it's not on TV Junior, it's going to be on my laptop.
Oh, yeah, it'll definitely be, because I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 monitors in front of me, so it'll be somewhere.
Yeah, it's going to be somewhere. It's going to be somewhere. Trust me.
I guess we can give our quick like preview of everything, and then give our predictions and see how we see the match going. But first things first, I guess the first match we'll talk about is Swerve Strickland versus Big Bobby Lashley. And the reason why I say that one is because potentially Swerve might be injured, separated shoulder.
Yeah, I always had the idea that Bobby Lashley was going to come out on top when they first announced this match. The Swerve injury drives that point home even more. I just think you can't have Bobby Lashley lose in his debut match with AEW. He's much too big of a star, and you could always sell Swerve losing as he has to overcome yet another obstacle in order to get back to where he ultimately wants to be.
Yeah, I agree. So me and you on the same boat as far as Bobby Lashley winning regardless, but now the injury adds a story element to where it gives you a reason to prolong this story. And And then if Swerve doesn't require surgery because it's a separated shoulder, I don't know like the extent of the injury. Well, I don't even know if it's a separated shoulder, but he showed an X-ray, and it looked like I'm like the shoulder ain't supposed to look like that. Ain't supposed to be that far apart from his chest. So I'm like, yeah, that's definitely at least by minimum a separated shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
If it requires him to take time off, they can literally turn it into like an injury angle, like they did with Jamie Hayter when she lost the women's title to Toni Storm that one time. They can literally turn it into an injury angle and kind of make you feel bad. The only downside is they lose one of their top guys in Swerve Strickland. So hopefully that doesn't do any long-term damage to what they got going on. So
the separated shoulder thing, I believe the surgery will hinge upon if there's like ligament damage or what have you that has to be surgically repaired. If it can just be rehabbed and rested, then he's fine. But I think that's where the length of time for the being out for the injury is where that lies.
True. Speaking of injuries, this next match is pretty much because of injury. It is once again Jay White continuing his revenge tour against Hangman Adam Page, and the last match they had. What was the last pay-per-view? Yeah, I enjoyed that one. So them running it back isn't making me it's not gonna make me lose sleep. But who do you got? How do you see this one playing out?
Honestly, I would love to see Jay White win this one and further send Hangman spiraling. I think that would tell the story because that could add to Jay White's asshole of a character and say, hey, look what I did. I sent, the great Hangman Page spiraling, blah, 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 blah. And then Hangman can continue to spiral out of control and become more unhinged, and they can go a myriad of different ways with that character, being unhinged. So I think a Jay White win would serve everyone well here. Although a Hangman win could serve a purpose, but I just feel like a Jay White win would be more beneficial.
True. But the only downside I feel like Hangman hasn't really won a lot of matches since the Swerve Strickland steel cage match. So
That is true.
I would definitely. I feel like Hangman should win this one by dubious means because he has been spiraling to the point where he's just desperate to never feel weak again and never fall or fail again. So I definitely see Hangman taking the dub here.
You know what? If I'm wrong and Hangman does win this match, I hope it is like by some sicko shit, like how AEW likes to call it. That's what I hope.
For the sickos?
Yes, for the sickos. Do something for the sickos if Hangman's going to win this match.
I mean, yeah, they are some sickos if they pretty much had Mercedes Monday attempt to drop Chris Statlander with a car. So, yeah, that's the next match. A nice little segue there for sickos because she's a sicko woman right there trying to run this woman over. Camille is forever useless. She's one arm in a sling. So it's like a lot going on. Like these bodyguards today, they just horrible when it comes to these damn when it comes to protecting their assets. So it's like,
hey man, I don't know if it was you or the enemy's account. Somebody tweeted something like that this week about these bodyguards. And
that was probably me because I said you are useless.
I swear I was at work when I saw it, and I'm in my office with my door closed, and I just busted out. I mean, belly laughing, like I was loud laughing. I was just glad it wasn't nobody in the office next to me or whatever because she was out on lunch or something. And like, I was just glad nobody was around because I was just like, damn, it hit me because the first thing that came to mind was like how she reacted with the whole trying to run over her incident. Like, you messed that up. You didn't run over her right. Then not only did you get the person that you're supposed to be protected beat up, but then you got your arm put in the sling. Like you just she was literally like how like when Wile E. Coyote is chasing Roadrunner and somehow he becomes involved in this big snowball, and then next thing you know, it just like that was Camille. That was Camille. It ended up one calamity led to another, and I'm like, this is like a real live version of Looney Tunes that I'm watching, except it's wrestling and it's female. Like, this is crazy.
Because she did a whole interview, and then Chris was just standing there menacingly in the back, just let her talk, and then she called for Camille when she ran, and then she literally ran out and got her arm even more damaged. So I'm like, oh my God. Oh man. I'm like, Mercedes, you need a new bodyguard.
Then she got put through a wall. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
She got put through a wall a la Jinder Mahal and Roman Reigns. Like, come on now. Like, what?
Hey, man, I almost forgot about that one. I was about to say that damn Chris Jericho Samoa Joe match. That damn abomination. I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah.
What is this? Like, Joe's going to go film his show. Can y'all at least give this man some dignity when you write him off the script? You're going to have him going off the script, like writing him off the script looking crazy. Like, come on, man. That's Samoa Joe, bro. Like, do him right if you're going to write him off. God damn.
Oh, man. That shit. I'm sorry.
But this one, okay. Back. Get back, folks. I think Mercedes is going to win this one because Camille is finally going to do something right. And it's probably going to be by accident.
You think she's going to accidentally help Mercedes retain? Like, oops, my bad.
It's going to be the most goof troop thing, and they're probably going to turn Camille into like some bumbling idiot storyline or something like that after all of this. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the way they be going, because it's like you making like the CEO's bodyguard look terrible. Only other,
I'm about to say, a la Raquel Rodriguez on running in front of Liv. Like, you're supposed to be protecting Liv, and you're out here running in front of her. Run behind her.
The only way that would have worked is had she grabbed Liv's hand and was like, girl, let's get your ass out of here.
Nah,
like, snatch her.
Liv was trying to catch up.
That's what I'm saying. But no, she would have had to, like, if you're going to do that, if you're going to take the lead, like, grab her and like try to pull her along with you or something like that. But like, it's been a terrible like couple of weeks for bodyguards, especially female bodyguards in wrestling. The only other way I could see this working out is if Mercedes gets pissed because Camille keeps messing up.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks for another bodyguard and hires Stat, and they try to turn Camille into a bigger star. That's the only way.
Like a little mini flip.
Right,
the only way that would work is if Stat was still a heel.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only way they would have to.
If she was still a heel,
going to turn her back right now.
Yeah, because they literally just turned her face for this program. So it was like,
that's what I'm.
If Stat was still a heel, like if Mercedes was facing somebody else, and Stat was just lurking in the background, seeing Camille mess up, and then she like nudged Mercedes like, "It's your girl," and then just walk off.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why there's certain booking decisions that they've made that I'm like, man, if you would have just pivoted just a little bit this way, maybe a little bit this way, we could really cook with this. They can still cook with this storyline. It's just I just feel like Mercedes has to win.
Mm-hmm.
She has to retain, and it has to be through some sort of hook or crook. She can't go over clean over Statlander. She just can't.
Oh no, I feel like this has to prolong. Like, it has to be extended to a stipulation match, and then Mercedes can move on.
Right.
Because trying to run somebody over with a car and run through a wall doesn't stop at a regular wrestling match. Like, it should not even be. Honestly, I feel like this match should not even be structured as a wrestling match. It should be structured as a match that is going to extend the story to where there's going to be a screwy finish.
Yes, definitely.
And I know another match is going to be, because we both agree that Mercedes is going to retain by dubious means, but I know another match that is going to be screwy for the most part, and that is the match that threw me off and a lot of other people, and that is MJF versus Roderick Strong. At first, they was building to MJF versus Adam Cole, but they flipped it, and it was a convoluted mess. I'm not even gonna hold you. They're
I don't
continuing
know.
MJF versus the United Kingdom, even though the United Kingdom are now baby faces, even though they were heels, and now MJF is the heel. And then it
And
was
that
like
they broke up because they no longer together.
because Cole was basically like Roddy, Matt, and
Fletcher's with Callis, and his
mhm.
buddy is with. But they still kind of cool, but they on opposite sides of the beat. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of
It's
it's a
a
lot it's a
so
lot.
basically
It's a lot going on.
MJF paid off the Callis family to
Yes.
stop Adam Cole from getting added to this match because it was going to be a triple threat match, even though it
Right.
probably should have been more of a handicap match because they're Adam Cole and Roderick Strong
Oh
hates
boy.
MJF. So why is it a triple threat instead of a handicap? And then you got when Adam Cole came back, he was like, I don't want the United Kingdom to help, not the United Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom. I don't know why I say United
Mhm.
Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom to help. So he was like, I'm gonna do this by myself. But then Roderick said he still got beef with MJF.
Right.
So MJF is like, okay, you both can wrestle 3 separate matches, and whoever wins the most wrestles me. But then Tony Khan said, okay, if both of them wins all 3, then it's gonna be a triple threat. And I'm like, this story makes no
This
fucking sense.
it reminds me of, and I just now realized where that meme and that gif came from. That guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the conspiracy theory guy or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, yeah, and he got all this stuff on the board and everything. This is like what it's like trying to sometimes explain some of this stuff. It gets a little bit hard for me to try to follow everything, and I'm just like, you know what? At some point, I'm just gonna watch the pre-tape for the match and watch the match and just go from there.
Oh, you talking
'Cause
about like that promo recap that they do in front of?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I'm just gonna call it a day because I can't try to go back and understand all the different nuances of all the backstories and everything else. I'm just gonna watch the pre-tape, gonna watch the match. We're gonna go from there.
Yeah. 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 That's
With
pretty
that
much
being
what it is.
said, I expect MJF to win.
Yeah, we might as well just go ahead and because I feel like I'm already frustratingly enough talked about this as much as possible. Yeah, MJF for the win and move forward because I'm like, oh, okay, that's happening. And speaking of for the sickos, the next match we're gonna talk about is for the TNT Championship. I don't have a graphic for it, but TNT Championship, it will be for the sickos. It will be Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. Yeah.
Okay, I will say this. If Daniel Garcia wins this match and wins the TNT title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's staying in AEW.
No, he resigned.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did resign. Okay, you're right.
Mhm.
Okay. That being said, if Daniel Garcia wins this match, I see that as they're finally going to like let him start that ascent up the ladder that everybody's been waiting for.
Right.
It's gonna have to start somewhere. It might as well start with dethroning Jack Perry, taking that TNT title, and being like the actual workhorse champion for AEW. Because old school traditional mid card title is for the workhorse guy, the guy who's going to be at all the house shows, the guy who's going to go put on the 10 to 15-minute match at every TV taping and whatnot. The guy who may be the curtain jerker and get the night going, on a pay-per-view, or he may be the
Mhm.
warm-up guy or whatever before the main event. Whatever it is, that guy, Daniel Garcia, is fully capable of being that guy for AEW. I think that this match, this feud and whatnot, it should end with him. If not this match, but this feud should end with him going over clean over Jack Perry and carrying on that TNT title to be their workhorse title.
I agree. So, but yeah, so I feel like I'm on the same boat as well. I feel like it's time for Daniel Garcia to finally. They got to start, like you said, they got to start somewhere. I can add to that. I just agree with everything you just said. Like they have to start somewhere, and then I feel like this would be the perfect time to do it. Hopefully, you don't get no charges brought against him because he literally did tie the grown man to the hood of a bus and just started driving.
Yeah. Um, we're gonna chalk that up to boys being boys. Look the other way. Look the other way. Look the other way.
It's just dudes being dudes. It's okay.
Yeah, just duding it out in the back of the arena, the bus.
Yeah, don't worry too much. Next thing we have is a fatal four-way for the tag team titles. You mentioned it earlier. We got Private Party defending against the Acclaimed, the Outrunners, and Kings of the Black Throne.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Private Party needs to win this match. And I'll even go a step further as to saying they need to win this match and look good winning this match to help them establish their tag team reign. Because if you're trying to hit the reset button on that tag team division with the Bucks stepping away and you crowning Private Party as the guys who are going to carry you into this new little era or this whatever you're going to call it, have them establish them by having them win this match and have a decent reign with these belts by beating teams and defending these belts.
For sure. And I feel like they're also doing a cross storyline with the Acclaimed and the Hurt Syndicate. So maybe I kind of see them playing a factor or paying a close attention to this because they kept the card the MVP gave them, or more so Max Caster kept the card the MVP gave him. So we'll see, but I definitely see Private Party retaining their tag team titles. This is more so like, okay, here's a coming out party. They just won the tag team titles, so now we have to establish them even more.
Right, and like you said, the Acclaimed have their thing. The Outrunners are what's hot right now, and Kings of the Black Throne are, those guys are, the spooky, creepy, good wrestlers. You got a big man and another guy, and like that team works. Not just aesthetically, but also in the ring. But there's no better way to establish Private Party than to beat, the hot new team, the spooky, crazy established team, and then the team that used to be on top that no longer is on top, but still has a little bit of a following in the Acclaim. So I just think that a Private Party win is not only what I think is going to happen, I think what should happen.
Facts. Next match before we get to the main event, it is Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, the match you said that has been moving you the most. Battle of two former friends. And I feel like as much as people like to, I feel like this match will probably steal the show from the men's side.
For sure.
But as far as who gets the win, I feel like Kyle Fletcher is going to get the win by dubious means because he just turned heel. They're trying to establish him as a bad guy in the Don Callis family, and I feel like it would be a waste of time if he just flat out loses.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think that that's going to be the way to go. And could we actually see, like you said earlier, I wouldn't mind this if I was wrong about the Hangman Jay White match and Hangman wins, doing sicko shit, but Ospreay loses to Callis and family, and he is the one who starts to spiral. And he is the one who kind of goes into a tizzy. Maybe not go full heel, but he starts teeter-tottering back and forth. That would be an interesting layer of character to tell with Will Ospreay. Because I don't think his character has been a heel before, but I don't think he's ever had that kind of like that,
obsessive.
questioning. Yeah, that OCD kind of questioning himself kind of journey with his character. So that could be something, and then that could also help prop up Kyle Fletcher and help build him into the next phase of his career that he's going into, because the dude can go in the ring, and he proved, this past week that he can go on the mic as well. And I thought Osprey was going to trip him up when he was like, do you want to be me or do you want to be, opposite of me? And Fletcher came back and answered that pretty well. He may not have been right off the cuff with it, but he was able to bounce back from being thrown off his pivot to come back and like, no, I'm going to fight back. I'm not just going to let you walk all over me in this promo. So I think that a Fletcher win, no matter how he does it, that's the way to go with this match.
For sure. The next, I guess, non-wrestling, we're going to have a AEW Women's World Championship celebration. It's going to be Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa on the pay-per-view.
Okay.
That's definitely a segue to probably bring back Tony Storm to the fold.
Yes.
Let me see what else we got. I
Not,
believe that's
I will never
we got,
get mad about having Mina Shirakawa on my TV.
No.
Man, we want Mina.
We want Mina. Don't nobody need her, but we need Mina. We need Mina. They got a match 0 hours, QT Marshall versus Big Boom AJ with Big Justice. I have no idea who these people are.
He's some viral dude with these other two younger kids or whatever. Some kind of thing that I don't know what they do, but they're viral and people would like to have them around. Evidently, dude used to be a wrestler. I'm guessing he's going over. That's why they got him in the ring with QT Marshall, because he wants to have a big, a thing or whatever. QT can bump around and look good for him, and QT's got his body together. He's been in bodybuilding competitions now, so QT can bump around for him, look good doing it, and put this guy over. Let him live his dream out.
So congratulations, Big Boom AJ, you for the win, and we're moving on. For the main event for the World Championship, it will be Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. Yeah, man.
This one, it's got to be Moxley. It doesn't make sense.
It is.
It doesn't make sense to do anything else. It just wouldn't make sense. And I know AEW does some crazy booking decisions sometimes, but I do not think this will be one of them. I think that this is Jon Moxley all the way. How he does it, I do not even care.
Yeah, he literally said on the last promo that they just cut with him, he said, abandon all hope. So this Dictator Mox that they're doing, this is basically, hopefully is going to lead to something. Hopefully the story moves on after Full Gear. But you can tell that the fact that they're kind of like taking their time with advancing the story, they're about to do some sick shit on the pay-per-view because they have more leeway on the pay-per-view than the TV shows. That's the reason why they killed Bryan Danielson in kayfabe on pay-per-view as opposed to TV, and they barely show what they did on TV. But when it's on pay-per-view, you see that they put them in the body, and he put them in a Ziploc bag. But I feel like they're going to do something dastardly here with Orange Cassidy and with Darby Allin, and then because I feel like they're going to add at least probably 3 more matches. Probably.
You think 3 more matches to this card?
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
they're doing something with Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita. They're doing something. They're probably going to add a trios match for the titles with the Death Riders, and then maybe, I hate to say it like this, maybe a Jericho match.
Oh, jeez. I mean, it is what it is, bro. It ain't nothing we could do about it,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind Mox like doing something like real some more sicko shit here, and write Orange Cassidy off for a while to help further their storyline. And like it's like everybody they've come across that they've gone through, they've put out, for a while. They're literally getting rid of, these people. And somebody's got to stand up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first quote unquote victory in this war against Death Riders will be somebody like losing the match but surviving the feud. And I think that will be more like a moral or a Pyrrhic victory for whoever it is that goes through that. That can be revisited down the line. But yeah, there's a lot of meat on this bone as well. It just depends on how they plan on cooking.
For sure. And letting it marinate. So
bingo.
And that is our preview for AEW Full Gear, and that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us this late. We definitely were a little late. Apologies again. Next week we will try to be back on our regular scheduled programming. It was life happens. No, like life happens, man. Everything happens it's all good. It was still a good show. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. We were over 400 deep across all social media platforms. So we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Where can they follow you and the Susio Boys, my brother?
At _Jermaine on all your socials, Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us at CDB Multimedia. That's all the different podcasts, Susio Boys, the CDB podcast, the Shogun Soccer Sit Down, my show, Susio Sports, Drelax Pod, Aim High, Four Corners of Commentary, and there's one or two more that I know I'm forgetting.
I got you. That's all good, and then we'll definitely put the links when we tag them across all social media, so you guys can actually stay tuned in and stay locked in. You can hit your boy as always, solo.to/Gresh, at its Gresh on Twitter, as well as Blue Sky. Blue Sky is basically my burner. I post whatever I want over there as opposed to Twitter, because everybody is offended on Twitter, not so much as Blue Sky. Instagram and everywhere else is it's Gresh. And you can catch me this Thursday on the Public Enemies podcast. We will definitely be diving more into everything that happened on Dynamite, as well as everything that happened this past week, as well as give our preview and predictions for Full Gear over there. Hopefully they add more matches or finalize the match card by Wednesday, but knowing them, they probably won't finalize it until Friday. So nevertheless, we will be tuned in, locked in, and as always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. We're on the road to 100 episodes over here, and then we're on a hiatus until the new year. All shit, here we go again with Ruthless Lala and Rich Swan on Mondays. And then we'll be right back here next week for another installment of the Gresh Unleashed podcast. And with that being said, you guys stay safe out here in these streets. And remember to always eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out, y'all.